My name is Jack Bowling, and I'm a militiaman. If you're interested in me, you can reach me at Bowling, Bowling, 2805 .bb.com is what it is, and you can reach me there. And I portray a militia, and sometimes known as a Minuteman. And that means that if the call goes out, you have to grab what you have and have 3 days worth of supplies to go. And this is one of my guns. It's a 60 caliber Fowler. This is a possible bag, and when you go, you have 3 days worth of powder and 3 days worth of ball in there. And it's called a possible bag because you put tools in it to have everything possible to keep this gun going. This is a haversack or knapsack, and that's your personal bag. We had no pockets, so today it would be called a man purse. And what you'd have to grab that and the clothes on your back, be ready, and you have to have 3 days worth of food. And this is the food you would probably take: some bread, dried meat, venison I've got, fresh fruit if you've got it. If not, what you do, they would dry their apples and any kind of fruit that they would have. This is parched corn. There's pumpkin seeds and all different kinds of seeds. This is a natural container, and these pecans, if you collect them, as long as the seal's not broken, they're as good in a year from now as they are right today. And so you grab 3 days worth of that. And for that you would do, you get the exorbitant pay of $2 to $3 a month. And with that, they supply you within 3 days with powder and shot, and some type of meat, some type of grain, cornmeal or flour to make your bread, and a vegetable or two if possible. Everything else that you want, you have to pay for out of that $2 to $3 a month. The things they wanted, this was new to the Revolution, and that's coffee beans. Most people don't that was new. It was becoming very fashionable. These are the rest of the things that they want. This is rum-soaked tobacco. They would either pull a chew and chew that, or they'd take a pinch and put it in their pipe and smoke it. And this is one of the things I get with the kids. I ask them if they know what this is. Hard as a rock. I get wax, soap, but it's actually, this is maple sugar and this is cane sugar. And if it's refined, this is the way it comes. It's packaged in a blue package, and it's hard. It's so hard you have to shave it off with a knife, or they have a special scissors that are called sugar nippers that would cut little pieces off. This is something else they want. If you were a farmer, you didn't let your crops go by. If you had rye or any type of grain, corn, you'd make it into alcohol, because in Kentucky in the 1700s, this was the #1 export, and it was exported to a foreign country, down the Mississippi to New Orleans. New Orleans was a foreign country at that time. And this is something else. I always ask the kids if they know what this is. And they say game boards, presses, and all that. And I give them a couple hints. One was this helped start the Revolutionary War. And they don't get it on that one. I tell them, think of Boston. And if you see the pictures, and there's on the back, if you see the paintings of the Boston Tea Party, they're carrying little packages about this square and about that high, wrapped in paper, dropping them off the side. And this is what it is. This happens to be green tea, and this is black tea. And they had a shipload of this, and if you had the loose tea like you see today, it would take 12 ships to bring the same amount. It's very confined, condensed, and what you do, you just shave it off, and you just shave it off, and you get the amount that you want. Put it in a teapot or a cup, and you That's not quite enough, but something else they would want on a sunny day, they'd use this to help start the fire. This happens to be my canteen, and this is flint and steel for when it's cloudy. This is what they want on it to get paid in. Was, since we were English, this is the kind of coin. This is a crown. It was worth about $1.50. This is a half crown, and it was worth about 75 cents. This was the replica of the first, no, I'm wrong. This is a replica of the first continental coin, 1776. And actually the French stole it from the Spanish from Lima, Peru. They sent it here to help support art, and they made that. The most popular way of coinage up until the 1880s was what they call a Spanish raw. It's a little bit bigger, but it was the same value. It had more silver in it, so everybody liked it better. So it's a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. It's got an edge on it. They put a crimped edge on it so people wouldn't shave it to get it down to our dollar size, so they could get a little extra silver. And this is also known as a Spanish silver doubloon. Pirates would call it a doubloon. Also, pieces of 8 are 8 bits, and you would use it just like this. You've heard the saying 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits a dollar. That's what they were talking about. And this is the way you made change. There's 2 bits. If you went into a saloon or a pub and you say, I want a whiskey, and they said that would be 2 bits, there you go. You just simply score it, break it, and then score it again and break it. That's your bits. They used pennies, were very popular then. These are, of course, we were still English until we won. These are English pennies. This is a Irish penny, and this is a British penny. One's got a harp on the back and one's got Britannia on the back. These are 17 something. This is a half penny. Most of the kids wonder why they have half pennies. We don't even use the 1 pennies now. But there's a half penny. This is a farthing. I ask them what that is. It takes 4 of these to make a penny. This is a quarter penny. But I give them a reference. I said if you were hungry and went into a pub and asked for a meal, they would give you a large wedge of bread, a large wedge of cheese, possibly some dried meat, and a schooner of beer. And the going rate for about 10 or 12 years around the Revolutionary time was 3 cents. So 3 cents would actually get you something back then. And of course, this is the way we would like to get paid with coins. That's the way the merchants like to get paid. But unfortunately, after about 6 to 10 months, the Continental Congress went bankrupt. So they issued this, the first Continental dollars. And this one happens to be for $5 from Philadelphia. This is for 3 pence, that's 3 cents. And there's 2 sayings that came out of these. It's not worth a Continental, and it's not worth the paper it's written on, still used today. And what these were promissory notes saying that when and if we win the war in 5, 6, 10 years from now, you bring this back and we'll redeem it from it full price. After the end of the war, they were still broke, so they gave you property in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and Illinois to take the place of those. And I can go on and talk about the black market. That's how the black market got really started, and it's got a bad connotation now, but during the Revolutionary War, a tent like mine, an 8-foot tent, would have 5 to 6 men assigned to it. They'd work as a team, and they would have to, if they were working, had a tent, and they had, in a wagon train, they'd have 1 box like that one there, a camp box. They'd put all their cornmeal, their wheat, their sugar, their salt, and their pots and pans, and that would be it, and they'd mark it. But if they were in a battle somewhere, and there was a dead man laying there, friend or foe, and he had better shoes and a knife and things like that, you pick it up. You brought it back. You start making a grocery list, because the merchants at that time used to follow, there was plenty of food during the Revolution. There just wasn't any money. So they'd get close to the camps, the colonel or general would send a troop out, and they confiscate the